Is up, my KB Designs family? Thank you for joining me in this video. This is the first video, the first official video that I'm making for this YouTube channel. We'll see how this journey goes. Today we're gonna actually work on a pop-up. I decided to make this the first video because when it comes to web design, I think pop-ups are so important to know how to use. It You can use pop-ups for so many different things, for forms, for maps, for informing people, for getting information. There's just so much stuff that you can do for it, do with them, I should say. So let me stop flapping my lips and let's just go ahead and get into it. So you see, we've got the Wix web builder open here. I like to use the Wix editor. I'm not really a big fan of Wix Studio, not yet. They still haven't sold me on that, so I'm still using the editor. The editor is phenomenal. So I highly recommend using the editor when you're doing web design. We're going to go ahead and look at this from the editor menu. So we're in here in our project, right? If we come over here, let's show you how to get to the pop-ups first, right? So you're going to come over here to add element. They actually just changed this from um, light boxes to pop-ups, actually. So you're going to come here to where it says interactive, and right here where it says pop-ups, this is how you find them, right? This is if you don't have any designed yet or anything like that, this is where you go to find them. But let's say, you know what, I can't remember that, because I wouldn't be able to remember that if I just watched a video. And then I'm like, where does that guy go? This is how I would recommend searching for just about anything. Right here, this little search bar, and you just type in pop-ups. If I can spell pop-ups. Boom. Promotion light boxes, right? They still haven't changed it from pop-ups, from light boxes here. But see how it opens up? You just hover over and it opens up the correct spot for it. And you can use any of these. You can use the promote pretty much any of them. We're just going to use this one, just the standard one for this one I always use because I just designed it out anyway. Before we do that though, let me show you one other spot you can go to for it. So once you have at least one pop-up built, you can come over here to your pages and menu, and then it'll be down here in pop-ups. This used to say light boxes, now it's pop-ups. We'll see if they change that in the future. I'm sure they will. It's Wix. But you see here, these are all the pop-ups that I have on my website that I use for various things. So like this service request one, this is a form, the contact us one, and Wix likes to do this. You click on a pop-up and then it just changes the menu here for you. So just be aware of that. This is one where I did a map. We're going to make one kind of similar to this today, but I've also got some with different packages that I sell for service packages and various things like that. That when people click onto this in the website, a pop up shows up on the website, both on the desktop and on the mobile site with the information. That way, you don't have to lose your spot on a website just to get the information that you need. It just helps with the user experience quite a bit. I've found if you know how to use pop-ups in a good way, not in an annoying way, because pop-ups can be used in an annoying way as well. So just a quick note here that once you have a pop-up made, let's say that we want to use this contact us one, right? Let's say you wanted to use this as like a template for it. We're gonna go back over here to your pop-ups. You can hit these little three dots. You can actually just duplicate it, right? And then we'll just do that, right? And then now this layout is duplicated. You see here, you've got copy of contact us, right? And then you would just click this, rename it, and then you can use this as the foundation of what you build. We're not going to do that today. We're going to build one from scratch. Okay. And then when you're done with it, you can just delete it, right? So, and then just check and make sure that was the right one to deleted. You didn't delete one that you wanted to keep on there. And if you happen to do that, this handy dandy little back button right there, that works pretty well actually. You see here now that is it's back, okay? That back button has saved my life so many times. I can't even tell you. Okay, let's go ahead and start building this sucker, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start this from scratch. We're gonna add a new one. We're clicking over here onto add elements, coming down here to interactive. We're just gonna use this welcome one, right? So first thing I like to do when I build my pop-ups is adjust the background. So I usually like to do either some form of tinting or shading. So you click on the change background and you can do all kinds of stuff. So you can change the color, obviously, right? You can add images, which will pull up the image selector. You can choose from Wix files, site files, things like that, right? So you also can use video. What's really cool about this is even if you use like a video, let's just go ahead and do this as a demonstration. Let's go ahead and use, I don't know, let's find one that, I don't know, this one looks like it might be kind of cool. Let's see if you want to show. Yeah, foggy trees. Why not? We'll use that one. So let's say we use that as our background for our pop-up. Let's go ahead and do that just because that's kind of fun. So I'm gonna go here to let's get that back open. Change the background. Go in here into your settings and let's say that okay, so I was thinking something else. I was gonna show you how to make um this video, how to use opacity with it, but what I realized is that in here in these settings, it's not here. Where I had done that was somewhere else in a website before, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to use a video for this, although that is an awesome effect, isn't it? So if you had a video that you wanted to use your for your pop-up, this something like this can be very captivating. But because I want to kind of play around with this a little bit, show you kind of the stuff that you can do with pop-ups, we're going to use an image for this. Let's use this fun little black cat cityscape. Is that what that says? Black cat cityscape, if I can talk. We're going to use that, right? You can actually set this background color by clicking on it, right? If I wanted to use maybe like a white or a black or something like that, maybe I'll use a black, right? And then we can come here to our settings, we can set opacity on this. This is what's really cool about with doing stuff like this. So I can set this opacity. So now we got this fun little cat that pops up because why not on the cityscape? And by having something like a black or a white behind it, you can adjust the shading or the tinting, right, of your website bleeding through, right? And whether or not you have like what color you put, you see the difference here. It's either going to tint it or it's going to shade it. You can use different colors and whatnot. I generally, if I were to do something like this, I would just use like a black or a white. I'm gonna tint it just a little bit here. Pull the opacity up a little. So you've got the cityscape that's obviously there. The website is bleeding through, but it's not overpowering. And so you've got this just kind of fun little thing behind it. Why not, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all of these. If my delete button will work, of course it won't right now. Usually you can delete. I'll show you what to do here because this happens a lot. So when you're using the Wix editor, a lot of times, especially if your memory on your computer, if you got to clear your cache, which I definitely do need to do, will admit to that. But sometimes the website, you just got to kind of refresh it and come back to what you're working on in order for some of these tools to work properly if they're not working right for you. So in order to do that, just save the your design and then just hit the refresh And then things that weren't working before should start working again. When you're doing web design with Wix, especially if you're building a little bit more complicated designs, you should expect to have to refresh your page from time to time, just because the editor works like that. It's just kind of how it goes. All right, once everything loads back up, just come back over here since now we do have that pop up. We didn't title it or anything. So you'll see it's just titled the announcements we're back because that's the standard pop up, right? So now if I were to show you, which I probably should have done, if I were to click on this before the delete wasn't working like that, right? And all I did was push Control Z, obviously, but me hitting delete on my keyboard, the keyboard control wasn't working for elements on the screen. And so I refreshed the screen in order to get that to work. Just a little trick there for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and make this larger. You'll see that if I um, just move the bottom one, it moves the top and the bottom. That's just kind of how this works, right? You can resize this kind of however you want to, right? What we're going to do is we're going to size it. Let's make it something like this. And then I'm going to do this layout because I want to be able to see that cat. I think that cat's kind of funny. So I'm going to hit the layout button there. And I'm going to put my pop-up down here in this corner. Now I've got this cat here that looks like it's just looking at this pop-up. Let's have some fun with that with our design, right? And so actually, let me check where to put my, okay, let's put this little checkbox in here. Should have done that first because it disappeared. I'm going to hit this design tool for it. And maybe it'll work. There it is. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. And let's just use this one for now. I might change that by the time we're done with this, but let's just use that one for now. Then I'm going to click this to highlight it and go back into the layout. And then now my little X here should move with it. It's not disappeared on there. So let's go ahead and design out this, right? So I don't know what color I want to use for this. Let's see. Let's play around with this. I probably should have actually did it before. So because I play around with like greens, bright greens and blues and stuff like that with my website. Maybe I'll use, yeah, let's play around with this. Let's use this guy for the background, this bright green color. And then we're going to come over here to the elements and we're going to add, we're going to add a box to this. Let's come over here to boxes. So these are what's called container boxes, right? So you've got some boxes that I've already used for my website. You can get some themed ones. You've got just some different styles and whatnot. I'm just going to pull this one over to it. It should go right on top of there. Let's see. Let's try that again. Boom. Click it. That works. Click it or tick it. All right. So I'm going to put this right here like so. Pull this down, maybe something like that. And then center it. There we go. Something kind of like that. Maybe frame it a little bit. Then let's go ahead and let's say that we're building out like a contact us kind of a box here, right? So on the contact us box, I would obviously want to have some sort of a title on here. So I'm going to use this nice big header. We're going to put a big header onto this, except that now it's not wanting to work like that. So we're just going to click it, get it here. Sometimes that just happens with Wix. Sometimes they just don't like to put your stuff where you want it. Let me look at my layers. There we go. Okay. And so, um, what I did there is when I was pulling it onto this, the reason why all that happened, just to explain what I just did there, when I pulled it onto it, it wasn't layering it right. And so it was putting it underneath this box, right? And so I just deleted those old ones. And I'm making sure that this is layered properly. And then I'm going to go ahead and edit this text because the reason why you're not able to see it is just because the this was the same color as the background. That's why it's invisible. But we can see here that it is in the correct spot as far as our layers go. Um, way I got to that is I clicked this little thing here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and let's see, let's do that, and we'll say contact, maybe something like that. A little bit larger than I would want it. Let's call it 80, just blasting through this right now. So let's say we got to contact us there, and then let's say that we use maybe this text body, edit it, boom, make this black as well. Boom, there we go. And then let's say that we have an address. Move my headphone cord here. Address 1234 Main Street. Let's call it Long Beach, Washington, 9861. That's the other Long Beach for those of you that are wondering. The good old LBW. All right. So, and then let's say we've got phone number. Do the right one. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's put an email on here. Email, call it info at yo mama. Because why not? All right, so put this over here. Sometimes it's good, just so you guys know. Wix has gotten better about this, but sometimes back in the day, anyway, if you didn't have this lined up with your edges, sometimes things would move around a little. So it's kind of a little bit of a. Sometimes I like to line it up the box with the edge, but like I said, Wix has gotten better about this. But realistically, you can have your little snap tool so that it lines things up. This one, it doesn't really matter because it's trying to line this up with this edge, but I don't really care about that. Let me actually move it. So, and then let's just for fun design stuff, let's add some vectors to this too. Okay. So we're going to go to some decorative stuff. And scroll down here. We're actually going to look at featured like this. And then I just clicked on the all vector art button there. And then let's do map marker. You can do that too. This one looks fun. Let me see. Just trying to think. Why not? Let's do this one. Why not? And that. It's right here. Drop it in here. Boom, like a so. Line this up. There we go. And then what I like to do is I like to hold down Alt on my keyboard and just drag, click and drag. Click and drag. There you go. And then all I do is I come in here, I click it, and then I change the vector art. You can come in here and we're going to look for a phone. What's a good phone icon? Ringing guy. Yeah, let's use this one. Why not? And then let's use something for change vector art. Use something for email. Which one? Let's see. Why not this one? Yeah. choose these guys. Show you why I chose those ones in a second. Make that a little bit bigger. It's sizing it. If you saw, it's sizing it with this up here. It likes to try and size it with things on your screen, which whatever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so get this lined up somewhat well enough anyway. One of the fun things about using these vector arts is you can come in here and you can design it. And you can actually change around the colors. So if you wanted to, you can make the colors a little bit more on brand for you. So we're going to use my little blue, the little on brand blue here. And then on this one, we're going to change that red to blue and leave the rest of the other colors the same on these so that that looks a little bit better. And I think I want to actually make this red. Let's see what this looks like. Do I want it red? I do think I like it. I'm going to make it the blue. Make it the blue like that. Yeah, good enough. Okay. So I'd probably play around with this a little bit more. Honestly, I don't love that icon, but this is really just to kind of give you guys an example of how to build out a pop-up, right? So I'm gonna come over here. I want to add a map too. So I left this space open here because I'm gonna add a map in this and to so that people can very easily find my business if they wanted to. So we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna remember where the maps are. Contact and forms. So it's in contact and forms here. Maps is where your maps are at. And then let's choose one. Kind of like this one. It's the one that I generally like to use. So I'm just gonna click it, drop it into here because you see if I were to try to drag and drop it over, it's gonna end up in all these different elements, right? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of build this off to the side a little bit, right? Um, before I place it into here, roughly anyway. Yeah, it's still a little bit big. And then not a whole lot of room for all these elements in here, right? So we're gonna click on this little settings. I generally like to get rid of this map and satellite. That just makes it quite a bit cleaner. As you see, it just allows a lot more room for this. And then these tools on the side here are actually pretty useful. The map to satellite view, no, nobody cares about that. You know, that doesn't really do a whole lot. So we're gonna drop this in here. Let's do it like that. And then maybe I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna grab this. I kind of want to grab all of them. So I'm holding down my shift key and I'm clicking on all these different elements because I want to do is I want to line all of these up on this, right? I will line them up in the middle, but I don't want them like perfectly centered on them. That works. Okay. And then, so just for a little bit of a map tutorial, just why not throw this in here? To change the location on here, right? You just manage your locations. I'm just going to do Long Beach, Washington, Washington, and then we'll call it, why not KV Designs? And then you can add a description if you want to. Uh, Tech Wizards. uh, and that's usually all I do, right? So then that icon, it will show up there. It's not going to right now, but if I were to refresh it, you would see it. But I'm not going to do that just right now. So I'm going to add in something else here because this cat is just hilarious, and I kind of want to play around with that design. So we're going to add in another uh, we're going to add in another decorative here. Decoratives are fun. It's a really good idea to do things like vector art on a website because it just makes for just fun design. It really does, especially if you can use it cohesively. Let's see. Let's look for a mouse. Let's look for a fun little mouse. That's a rhinoceros. All right, let's see if we can find a good mouse in here at all. What is this? So I don't know how much of that I'm gonna actually end up putting into the video, but I just went and created this silly little mouse that we're gonna use for some fun stuff here. So put this guy on top of here. So it looks like our little cat was interested in somebody. And we can even play around with the animations on this. And let's see. Boom, there we go. Make this grow, but you see how it grew from there? We want that to be behind the map. So we're going to put that boom like that. And that should now pop up. Ooh, that's okay. So, and then why not? And I'm not going to animate. Well, we'll animate these. So the thing is, as far as animations, just go into this real fast because this turned out to be a lot longer video than I wanted it to be. When you do animations, it's a good idea to only animate things that are not like crucial pieces of information on your website because some people turn animations off on their screen, and sometimes that has the effect of it not showing the information. It doesn't necessarily just turn off the animation. Sometimes the thing that is animated just doesn't show up on their screen. So you want to be careful with animations when you use them. Try to only animate things that are non-essential information. So we're just going to animate this stuff and we're going to animate that guy, right? So let's just for fun, put a little animation in here. I kind of like this bouncing one. So we'll put that on there. All right. And then we're going to set, now that we've got this design, right? I want to set a trigger. And so first let's go ahead and we'll name this to contact I might actually end up using this because this ends up being really funny. So, right here, do you want it to automatically display or not, right? So if you don't want it to automatically display, you're going to want to make sure that you assign this, you link this to something on your website, a button, text, some sort of link that people can use to access your pop-up. For this, what we're going to do is we're just going to make this the something that pops up right away. You can set a delay for this, right? So however many seconds you want. You know what's the longest on this? All the way up to 60 seconds. We're gonna keep it. Just gonna keep it at the 2, though. And then this is actually really important. You can set this so that it's the first one on every single page if you want to, or you can select which pages you want this to pop up. The pop-up to show on, right? And then this is something that you really want to make sure that you do. This is the schedule. So if I click that schedule link that was on the screen for half a second, you can set an end date. This is really important to do because that way you don't have to worry if it's a pop-up. Say that it's something that like it's for like a special or something like that that is here today, gone tomorrow type of a thing. You can set an automated end date to that, so then you don't have to worry about remembering to come back onto the website later and take the pop-up down. It'll just do it all on its own, right? So we're not going to add a schedule on this though. So I'm just going to come down here and clear the schedule. Um, just wanted to make sure that I showed you guys that so that now when I look over here, This should be the contact us, right? Which I better be careful I don't delete the wrong one there. Okay, so to show how this works, let's actually, instead of publishing this to the website, and I didn't link this to anything, sometimes it'll work. You can do it with the preview, but you also can come over here and you can click this site and then deploy test site. If you do that, it's gonna do, it should anyway. There we go, pop up a test website. I really like to do this because this is actually a live website. But as you see here, it just shows test. So one, two, there it is. Okay. Looks like this popped up a little bit slower than that, but you guys kind of get the gist of this, right? Got our fun little pop up here. Came up right when we wanted it to. Got our little mouse that our cat is stalking here. Just some fun stuff with design. I think that is all I got for you guys. That's how you kind of use pop-ups in Wix. If you guys have questions about any of it, just shoot me a message in the comments, and I'd be happy to read it and answer any questions. If anybody out there wants help with web design or graphic design, that's what KB Designs does. We are web designers, we're graphic designers, and it's actually a marketing agency. We help small businesses grow. As you can see, design and tech solutions you can actually afford. That is what we do. Just go on over to kbdesigns360.com and check us out if it's something that you're interested in. Appreciate you guys watching all the way through the end of this video. Hope it was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. God bless. Back,